not even going to
completely
look
ignored.
at.
I know. I don't want to see it. So yeah, I mean, we do look at a lot of evidence. I read a lot of Christian websites and articles and books and everything like that all the time.
Absolutely. And even my profile says there was a time in my life when I wanted to believe in God. If somebody would just show me the evidence to prove to me that there was a God, I would love to believe in God, but right now I just have no reason to believe in Him. Yeah. There's a lot of atheists out there that if we're open-minded enough to say that if you showed me the evidence, I would accept it.
Exactly. Okay. All right, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to put you on hold, but like I say, got to get our piece in.
No, that's all right. That's all right. It's okay to put me on hold.
Okay.
The thing is this, though. Okay, you say, there's no evidence of God, but for a lot of religious people, maybe they do have evidence, and have you ever done what they did to try to seek it out, or are you just...
yeah.
That's what I mean.
That's what I said a couple seconds ago.
Have you ever done any of that? And I don't mean, pray for a car or something. But
no. That's what I was saying.
That's the thing.
Okay.
And when I said you guys were closed-minded, I didn't say that... I'm not saying that religious people aren't closed-minded. Of course they are. But to say that 99% of the population believes in one thing, that isn't really a fact either. Because I mean, we have all kinds of different people who have different ideas of what spirituality and religion is anyway. Yeah. And there are a lot of good things to religion, and spirituality can help a lot of people. And that's sort of just my point that you can't.
Okay.
There's a saying.
Well, again, you're throwing out a lot of things here at us, and I'm trying to keep answering stuff.
You can't. There are a lot of positive things to spirituality.
Oh yeah.
And you cannot, if you say the forest, you're denying the beauty of the forest because a few of the trees are ugly, and that's the way I see it. I mean, you guys are totally within your right to think whatever you want. But, I mean, it really is closed-minded to say that, because at the end of your show, I've heard you say it, we don't hate your way, we just think you're wrong. Yeah. You don't know that they're wrong.
Well, no, but that's why we think we are. Yeah. We think they are.
We never said we don't hate you, we just know you're wrong.
They can say you're wrong, too, and that they can say that's just as truthful as your statement. And it's, I mean...
Yeah, but we've got a little bit more evidence and logic and stuff to back us up.
You don't have any evidence. They don't have any evidence. You don't have any evidence.
They don't have any evidence.
You don't either.
They're making a positive claim that God exists.
Yeah,
but yet they have not backed that up.
Hang on. Evidence.
But they have not backed that up at all. They're making an empty claim.
In their life, that it's worked for them to believe in God.
That is a separate point.
My father once told me when I used to rant and rave about atheism, he said that it's been proven that people have, that praying has helped people, and that there actually is.
And that is a separate point. And that is a separate point.
That's proof to that for them a God exists.
Okay, and that is a completely separate point.
Well, not really.
Hang on. Whether God exists or not is one thing. Whether people are helped by the belief that God exists is something completely different. Now, I understand that a lot of people get a lot of comfort from religion. People do good things because of the belief in religion. They have the religious charities, and they go out, they help the elderly and the sick and whatnot. Yes, there are definitely some benefits to the belief in God. However, that doesn't then make the belief in God true. If I believe that, helping people is a good thing, then that's going to make me want to do it, whether it's true or not. If I believe that if I help people, I'm going to win the lottery one day, then that's a good reason to help people. But it's not a true reason. It's going to help me. It gives me a reason. It's not a good reason. It's a faulty reason. It's not a true reason, but it's a reason.
Okay,
so that's what they're doing the same thing. They have this belief that God likes it when they do that. They will earn a place in heaven. All of this kind of stuff.
Some of them.
And some of them. And so they are running with that.
Like that. That's sort of why I said about the closed-minded thing, that you just can't say, if I do something good, I'll go to heaven. Yeah. Not all believe in that God. or believe it that way.
Okay, but again, we get the point here, though. Okay, well, actually,
just one more thing, real quick.
Okay, yeah, you've said one more thing lots of times.
I'll call in, okay? I'll call my father and get this, because he's not religious either, just like me. I'll get the study that he shared with me. I'm not exactly sure who did it, that, showed that there was actual, that the people not just believing in God wasn't just, it did good things or anything like that, that it actually changed them in their minds, like chemically changed their brains.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay? Again,
I'll just get that study, and next time I call in, I'll talk about that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Sure.
All right, well, thanks for taking my call.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and I have seen a lot of studies like that, and again, whether you want to go chemically based, drugs and alcohol do the same thing.
Yeah.
Belief, there's the whole thing of, I can't remember, the placebo effect. If you give somebody an M&M to cure their cold, a lot of times it'll work. If they don't know that it's an M&M and they think it's actually some kind of powerful drug, it works.
You can use any study to prove that a belief in something or just a way of thinking or something that's happening within your brain is going to cause any kind of somatic symptoms, Like I did my master's thesis. I did my master's thesis in college on stress and burnout, and the fact that you get really, really stressed out causes somatic symptoms. It causes people to have reduced immune systems. It causes people to get headaches a lot, stomach aches a lot. It causes them to have, weakened strength. It can work the other way. If you believe something that gives you a lot of strength, it can actually physically give you a lot of strength.
They had a story, this was just about maybe a week or two ago, I saw it, unrelated to atheism in any way, but I don't even think it was actually in this country, but it might have been. Some people on a bus found some brown powder and stuff like that on the floors, and they all of a sudden started feeling wheezy. They started having chest pains, started getting sick. They shut down the bus. They brought in, the biological team. Some of them started getting sick. It turned out to be pine cones and dirt. People just assume that this is something really bad, and all of a sudden your mind takes over and starts building stuff around it that you expect that you're going to get sick because this is really bad stuff. And so then you do get sick. And that's exactly what happened. It was just like a mass hysteria type thing over some pine cones.
I did it once, actually. I got a prescription from my doctor to give myself B12, because I'm a vegetarian, so to give myself B12 injections. And, I'd never given myself a shot of anything before. And I did it.
Yeah.
I gave myself a shot of B12, but I forgot to tap the needle like I've seen them do in the hospital. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I forgot to tap the needle. Yeah. What if I got air bubbles in my blood and I'm going to have a heart attack and die? And all of a sudden I started feeling numb in my hands. I started feeling weak and dizzy, and my roommate had a friend whose mom was a nurse, so he called her, and we were like, oh my God, do I need to go to the emergency room right away? I'm having a heart attack. And, and she was like, you know what? It was like this much air bubbles. It didn't go into a vein, it went into my skin, and it dispersed right away, and she was just like, there's no problem. I was like, oh, okay, I feel better now.
The mind is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have a belief in God and it's going to help you out, then yeah, it's going to help you out. Very likely.